What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Joy Division as we continue through the Substance compilation. Thank you again to Han Solo. And the next track is Atmosphere, which is a single word title. Obviously, the concept of an atmosphere is clear enough. I may be inclined to see this more in terms of social or psychological atmosphere and not necessarily gas particles in a given medium. So yes, I do wonder if this is something that might function on multiple levels. Like, there may be visual references, but of course it could be psycho-emotional or atmosphere in terms of what you feel in a given situation, socially or otherwise. So let's give it a listen and see what I can pick up. This is Joy Division, the track is Atmosphere, and it's included on this compilation of their songs called Substance.
See the danger, always danger, endless talking, life rebuilding, don't walk away. Your confusion, my illusion, or like a mask of self-hate, confronts and then dies, don't walk away. Find it easy, aching to see, walking on air, hunting by the rivers, through the streets, every corner, abandoned too soon, set down with due care, don't walk away. In silence, don't walk away.
That's a really stunning tune. Okay, first of all, the vocals have, I'm not going to say comedy to them, but they're definitely a sort of affected voice. I feel like I'm listening to a character more than like a lead singer in a band song, if that makes any sense. It's like a bit heightened, a bit theatrical, but again, like a bit of comedy as well. The sonics are really interesting. I mean, there's cycling drums, certainly. There's those like stardust sequences. I'm not quite sure what that is. And then there's, at first I thought it was a tambourine, then I thought it was maybe like, bells being shaken. But yeah, there's a real like celestial quality, which, there's those organ chords, which were really standing out in the last minute or so, and those have a bit of cosmic feel. But even before that, there was like the like cosmic backing choral vocals, for lack of a better description. So the whole thing did feel a bit, you know, celestial. And then, like, lyrically, I don't really know what's happening, but it does feel like it is about, feeling or psychology as much as anything else. So, yeah, I do wonder the essence. There's a couple lines, of course, that now as we get to the end that I'm not remembering, but that did catch my ear. This does happen when you have a leaky brain like mine and you try to do things without taking notes in the moment. But yeah, it felt like it was maybe more human-based, even though the concept of atmosphere as like the surrounding environment is likely relevant. But yeah, a really interesting one and pretty far away from the, rough, raw-edged first few tracks on this compilation. So I definitely, assuming these are more or less in chronological order as we've been going through them, which I'm guessing that because the first ones were very early tunes that again sounded a bit garage band, which I don't say in any way as a denigration. And in fact, people commented, people who enjoy Joy Division and are, familiar with their trajectory were saying at that point they were really just kind of like learning how to play the instruments and, put songs together and so on. But yeah, definitely I can hear a difference by this point relative to that. So there might be more distance to go, of course, before Joy Division came to an end, but definitely I can feel the evolution and progression already. So yeah, a really interesting one. I enjoy the feeling of the tune, which I guess I'm saying I enjoy the atmosphere of the tune. And yeah, those vocals in particular, they were, very charismatic, but again, it didn't feel like lead singer of band so much as it did, someone getting on stage and like sing or speak singing a part and, sort of saying poetic lines as part of some storytelling. So that's kind of the vibe I got. In any case, I think once again Han Solo, as well as all those who've been commenting on the Joy Division reaction so far, let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.